Thank you very much, Chair, High Excellency, honorable members of the mediation from the AU, ECOWAS, Commonwealth, and the Independent Commissioners of Peace, ministers of government, members of parliament, members of the diplomatic corps, our friends from the APC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is a momentous day and a historic one for several reasons. It reaffirms our commitment to building institutions that strengthen democracy. 3 years ago, after a national consultative dialogue, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion was established. It wasn't established out of a vacuum. It was a recommendation from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that they are able to organize and bring together international and national parties together in a very fraught state is a good testament to the people of this country. Congratulations. We thank them for their leadership and for all the roles they've been able to play to get us here. So why are we here as a government? We're here because of our commitment and understanding that when there is a mediated dialogue, we're able to go past our differences. We're here because of our hopes and our aspirations for national and collective movement forward. And as such, we expect that at the end of this mediated dialogue, we will see and expect the full participation of our friends in the All People's Congress in government. In a very low trust environment, not just in Sierra Leone, but across the world, and we see the growing violence in Asia, the Middle East, in Europe, in Africa, in ECOWAS, it is important that we restate our commitments to ensure effective state delivery. And that does not just mean elected officials. It means people who were not elected. It means people who never ran for elections. It means our collective and entire country. This is why our government has been pursuing a number of critical and absolutely necessary national reforms, which we believe our country requires to be counted and to occupy its rightful place among community of nations. Evidently, we were just invited to the Security Council and will continue to represent not just Sierra Leone and Africa, but the entire world in making sure that we can stand for peace and national cohesion. Over the last couple of years, our government has repealed the seditious libel law. We've removed the death penalty. We've enacted the Guinea Bill. We reviewed and updated the PPRC Act, the Education Act, the Local Government Act, the National Investment Act, the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion Act, the National Disaster Agency Act. We revised the anti-corruption law. Well over 90 laws in the last 5 years. And because we believe that we're not done and governance does not stop, our team has continued to work on the Criminal Procedures Act of 1965, which currently does not guarantee justice to our people, particularly if you're poor. Because if you're poor and cannot pay a fine, you get sent to prison. Our government understands that poverty should not mean lack of access to justice. We're here because we believe in mediation. There does not exist a mediation bill. We will work to make sure that there is a mediation bill in this country. And all of these are aimed at ensuring that the necessary and appropriate legal and regulatory environment is created to enhance effective and efficient government of Sierra Leone, not government of the Sierra Leone People's Party. A number of initiatives have been rolled out to ensure that our country strengthens its culture of inclusivity and participation. I mentioned the Gimme Act and the efforts of all political parties that were put in place to make sure we all honor that law. This is why when our friends from the APC go to Parliament, there will be a lot more women in Parliament in our lifetime, in this sitting, than there has ever been at any given point in time. Youth empowerment has ensured that Sierra Leone remains an example across the world. The number of young people who are given elected and appointed positions is at an all-time high and used as a benchmark across the continent. Political participation, where in the last government, in the last election, there were 17 fully functional political parties operating in the country, of about 7 to 8 million people. CSOs are actively encouraged and have statutory positions in many strategic national institutions. There's no new commission that has been established over the last couple of years that does not actively include the participation of CSOs. The media is free and independent, with over 80 community radios and about the same number of print media. As His Excellency has said, there is absolutely no journalist in prison today for practicing journalism. These are progress that we as a people can be proud of. We believe in effective governance, and Sierra Leone has continued to work assiduously to improve our country's global indices. Evidently, we passed the MCC scorecard for 5 straight years. We didn't pass MCC scorecard for MCC, we passed it for our people. Because when the corruption index goes from 49 to 84, it is not MCC or the US government who benefits. It is perceptions that reflect our people's thought of corruption. As a nation and as a people, we must all continue to work to make sure that the image we project and propagate about our people reflects the true realities of our people. We cannot, for political gain, for financial gain, for personal gain, project things that do not reflect the realities that we see on the ground and the true perceptions of our people. And these indices, from MCC to the more from what some of our friends continue to speak when they're given the podium. We believe that we must strengthen state institutions, most importantly. I spoke about the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, which came out of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. In the last 5 years, we have implemented all possible recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that does not require constitutional change. We've established institutions that make Sierra Leone an example to the world. For national disaster response, in our fight for COVID, our leadership role on the APRN, our leadership role on the C10, continue to be examples that countries across the world turn to. The government of His Excellency, President Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Maada is one that believes in the intrinsic values of inclusivity and participation as critical ingredients for a peaceful, united, stable, and cohesive Sierra Leone. It is as a manifestation of such conviction and belief that government has since given very serious considerations to the abnormal situation of having the other half of state governance, the opposition party in the House of Parliament and local councils, holding back on participation in governance. the government truly and genuinely believes that democracy and democratization cannot proceed without an active, credible, and responsible opposition from which we can all benefit from constructive engagements, such as profiling alternative policy proposals where they exist, or joining us to progress laws where we don't disagree. We don't always have to disagree. We're not here because we've been forced to. We're here because we chose to. And we're here because of our commitment to national development and peace. We're here because the father of democracy, His Excellency President Dr. Julius Maada Bio, asked us to be here. We're here because of peace and unity. That will be a total mobilization of our human, financial, and other non-material resources for the development and transformation of our country, so that truly and genuinely Sierra Leone can be part of the countries that accelerates towards the SDGs, as we share our policies of leaving no one behind. This is really what Paupa Salon for Better means, by the way. And we believe that, because Paupa Salon was better. This is embedded in our shared belief, and this is something that the government of President Bio is committed to supporting and promoting. The government is committed to ensuring that agencies that promote inclusivity, participation, unity, and national cohesion, such as the Peace Commission, other agencies of the government, CSOs, development partners, all have a safe space and are given the support to function in a meaningful and productive manner at all times. It is this manifestation of government's firm conviction that governance should be inclusive and participatory that will remain open and supportive of every initiative that will ensure that this current impasse that has caused challenges in governance post the June 24th multi-tier elections are addressed in a manner that takes cognizance of our national constitution and national laws. The government is convinced that there could be several ways in which, together with counterparts in the opposition and as a nation, we can forge a progressive national partnership in governance, with each party playing according to its mandate, while at the same time ensuring that the national values of unity and peace efforts are made for continued cooperation and collaboration. Towards ensuring such cooperation and collaboration, the government of Sierra Leone will ensure that opportunities are created for continued work on critical national governance priorities going forward. The President, in his address to the House of Parliament on 3rd August 2023, directed the establishment of the National Electoral Review Committee. The government insists that this committee will be inclusive and broad-based, as His Excellency assured us on that day. And when called on, I hope that our friends in the opposition will fully participate. That won't be enough. This is why we're inviting the opposition to take responsibility, join governance, such that the things that have lasted for 20+ years, including the constitutional review, can be completed for the progress of our country. Boycotting reforms that strengthen our democracy is not progressive. And I think across all aisles, no matter where one sits, the recommendations from our independent electoral observer bodies require constitutional reform. The recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation require constitutional reform. When we had a constitution in 1991, we were moving from a one-party state to a multi-party state. And since then, we've had 2 coups and 4 elections. It is time to strengthen our democratic state institutions. And sitting back is not what we should be doing at this point in time. This is why I want to appeal to all of us for good reasoning. I want us to be open and sincere, and I want us to look forward towards the positive outcomes. And I appreciate that we all have said things that will make the other person turn away. And where we have, we're sorry. And I hope that other parties, other members who come to this can also take responsibilities for things that they may have said to get us where we have arrived at. Being reflective is not a position of weakness, but rather that it's a commitment that we are making to move forward. And allow me to end on a note of hope and a reminder of what makes us a powerful people. It is not our differences that divide us, but it is in our diversity that we get united. Dr. Samira Kamara's wife is my auntie, not a distant blood auntie, a very close auntie by blood from Pujang. I mention this to say that it is our diversity in thought that must unite us, because he's an uncle. Our religious tolerance, as demonstrated by our daily prayers that our children have in school every day. They have Christian prayer and Muslim prayer. Every program, we have Christian prayer and Muslim program. At a time when we see so much diversion in the world, it's what we should celebrate. We're known to love strangers more. We're people of resilience. And in spite of our one-party states that we've had in the past, our multiple coups, our national health and environmental disasters, we have united and marched forward. That is who Sierra Leoneans are. Ladies and gentlemen, our friends and family members, we're great people, and forward shall we continue to march. Before I go, and I shall not speak on behalf of the ECSL, disaggregated results exist in all of our hands. That's what the RFOs are. That's what we signed up for as a party. Everybody had representatives at polling stations. Everybody signed RF forms. Those are disaggregated results. They exist in our hands. Like I said, I will not speak for ECSL, but I'll speak for us that we're satisfied with the disaggregated results that we have. And I'm sure that the other parties who were there have their own disaggregated results. It is important that the words that we use for our members out in the public, or rather, the things that the members use do not shape our leadership roles. We're leaders. We're leaders, and it is important that we lead. And I don't say this because as an aspersion. I say this to reaffirm our commitment as leaders. We believe that in spite of our own understandings, varying understandings and perceptions of the reality, we will converge and be united at the end of this dialogue for this land that we love. Finally, we're a country of laws defined by the Constitution and all other laws that have come out of the Parliament of our country, law and order. And I want to urge all of us that during these debates, during these dialogues, we must never, never, ever speak outside of the laws of the country. Thank you.